Everyone, Sin here from CreativeSynchronicity.com, and I'm back to share with you another quick and easy craft idea. Graduation season is coming up, so I wanted to show you a great idea that you could use either as just a simple little gift, give to the graduate, or even as a party favor if you're having any graduation celebrations around. Thanks to OnlineLabels.com for providing me with labels to use for this particular craft. And let's get started. I've got a really fun idea for you. So just going to turn my camera down so that you can see a little bit better. Sorry about that. It's just not wanting to be terribly smooth this time. There we go. Okay. So you can see I'm going to be using some of these goldfish crackers. And I'm just going to be presenting them in a fun way. So this is definitely the kind of craft that you can use if you are wanting to give it to a graduate of any age. I mean, really, you can use it for little kids, you know, kindergarten graduation. This would be super cute. I'm making it in a fairly large mason jar, so you might want to use a tinier portion for little ones. It'd be great to give to even high school and college graduates. Or you can also adapt it, and you know, you can still use kind of my label idea without the rest of what I'm going to be doing, and you'll see what I mean in a second, and just use it as sort of a last day of school kind of thing too. So it can be adapted a couple different ways. So you're going to need some kind of a jar, like a mason jar. You're going to need some little fish-shaped crackers. You don't have to use fish-shaped crackers. You could use fish-shaped candies too, like those gummy candies or something like that. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need some glue. And, of course, you're going to need your labels. So here are my cute little labels that I printed off. And it says, congratulations, you're officially out of school. So like I said, this can be adapted to a lot of different things. And this is going to be the template for this. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to give you a couple for colors of fish and for sayings on it as well, so that you can adapt it to different occasions. And as always, if you are one of my loyal viewers, loyal readers, you can certainly always just message me and say, hey, I really need one done in neon orange, and you don't have that option. What can you do for me? And I'll be glad to see if I can come up with something for you. I tried to get her at a quiet moment so this wouldn't happen. Hopefully she's going to settle quickly. All right, so carry on. So these ones are I believe the 1.5 by 3 inch. I will definitely give you, as again, I'm going to provide you with a couple different sizes as well, though, so in case, you know, this one is nicely sized for this big tall jar. It's a little bit oversized for some of the smaller jars, so you might want to use one of the smaller sizes. And then you're going to need some paper. You could certainly use just simple action paper. You could use scrapbook paper. I'm using a cardstock. It happens to have some texturing to it, just because I had it on hand and I thought it was pretty. But you can certainly use whatever you want to for creating this. And again, in any color that you want to create it in. And I'm just using a tiny bit of it. So I would say probably if you're using like a sheet of 12x12 construction paper, you could get at least 4 of these out of one sheet, possibly even more. That's just kind of a rough estimate. So I'm going to say 4 at the minimum. So it's very cost effective, very inexpensive, and especially if you go and, you know, try to find something in bulk that you can use to put into them, you're laughing. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some kind of like, sorry, there's my cat, some kind of string, some kind of embroidery floss, something along those lines of that. So Sugar Plum wants to be a part of this apparently too. So you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to let her be a part of it. Okay, So the jar. I'm going to start off, and I'm just going to go ahead and get some of these crackers in here, get that over and done with and out of the way. So, and I'm dropping some, and Sugar Plum is going to have, okay. Yeah, you can have that one. Go over there. Go over there and you can have that one. Okay. So, as you can see, in a giant jar like this, as you can't see because I wasn't holding it properly, as you can see in a big jar like this, one of these standard size bags, so this is a Canadian bag, so it's marked in grams. I'm not sure how they're marked. This is 180 grams. Doesn't quite fill the jar up. So if you want the jar totally full, again, you know, I would say if you're just making one, you know, just grab yourself a couple bags of these. If you're making more than one, you might want to go ahead and get something a little more cost effective and find something that's in bulk. All right, so I just filled the jar with whatever kind of fishies I'm going to use. And then I cut out a square of the black cardstock. So with that square is going to go on, like, sorry. Can you tell it's been a little while since I've done a video? My goodness. Okay, bear with me. I promise you it's worth it. It is totally adorable. So you need a square because we're making a graduation cap on the top of this jar. So you need a little square of the paper side. So I actually cut out 2 squares and glued them together. So it would be black. Even if you looked at it from the underneath side, you'd still see the black there. You're also going to need a strip of that same paper, and that strip needs to go around the jar. I also made it just a touch taller. Can you see that? Just a than the lid of the jar because I wanted the cap to kind of stand up a little bit and not be right down flat on the jar, but that's up to you. That's a personal decision. You could also, if you don't want to use paper for this, you could use some pretty ribbon to wrap around the jar and then use the paper or something stiffer on top so that the cap's going to hold up to use. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take some of this glue and we are going to glue the cap on, or the strip around the cap is what I'm trying to say. Now, you could put glue all the way around this outer ring. You could also use hot glue for this, by the way. I didn't want to do that because, as you can see, I've kind of invaded the cat's space. Been having trouble with lighting in the house, and this was the place with the best lighting. So I've kind of invaded their space. So I didn't want to bring up the hot glue gun. Didn't want anybody to get hurt. So I'm just using this, but you could certainly use hot glue. You could put this and apply it right to that. And it's still going to, you know, once it's glued on there, it's still going to unscrew, okay? Or you can simply leave it so that it will actually lift back off. Kind of depends on your purposes as what you're doing with it, because, you know, it depends on whether you're going to want it to come straight off easily or whether you're going to want it to be able to kind of sit there a little more securely. So I'm just going to put a little glue on, maybe. Oh, here it goes. I'm just going to, for my purposes, put a little bit of glue on. Oh my goodness, seriously. This is, no. Abbott and Costello try to do crafts on camera. I keep a little bit of glue on one end and not actually glue it right to. I'm just making this ring that fits around there perfectly. Of course, you know, I don't want you to sit here and watch glue dry, but normally I would let this dry a little bit more before I'm to glue the cap on with. Again, you could certainly use hot glue for this. Mine is not going to need of use to it. So, you know, I don't have to worry about it being extra sturdy with the hot glue or anything like that. Just put a little bit of glue on that and then try to center that, stick the mortarboard part of the graduation cap on there. Already it's taking on kind of that grad kind of look to it, isn't it? So, okay, so there's that. Simple little tassel. I just had this yellow kind of thread around. Embroidery floss works great for this, and it's inexpensive. So that's something that you could also use, but this is something I happen to already have on hand, so I did that. I made a little tassel, simple, winding it around my hand, tying it off up at the top, and then I just wound a piece around to kind of form the tassel part of holding it in place, and that was it. That's all I had to do to it. Now, to attach the tassel onto it, again, you could just use some simple glue. That's what I'm going to use right now because that's quickest and easiest, and I'm just trying to show you a super quick and easy way that you can kind of put this all together, and you've got something that you can give to the graduate without having to spend a lot of time on, for one of those last minute kind of gift ideas you may come up with this season. But the other thing is, if you want to make it even more so kind of looking like a mortarboard top, you might want to stick you might want to glue a button on there, trim this off a little bit, stick a button on there, and have that kind of form that little button part that's on the top of a lot of the mortarboards. Or you might want to use a brad. You might want to use a brad there, and you could kind of loop this around the brad instead of, you don't even have to use glue then, and do it that way. I'm just going to go with the idea of sticking it on for now, and then I may come back and cover that up with a button later on. Okay, so there's our cap. Super simple, right? Super fast. Didn't take any time whatsoever. Then we've got the little sign that says, "Congratulations, you're officially out of school." And I just stuck it on some more of the same cardstock, using some more of the same string. And I'm just going to pop the cap off there for a minute, just so that I can do this quickly and easily without having to fuss. And I'm just going to tie this around so that the tag is on there. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a trim. There we go. And I'm going to stick the cap back on. And there you have it. Oops, let me try and turn it so that you can really see. And I will take pictures and post this up on my blog as well. But there you go. Cute little mason jar, has a little graduation cap on top, and then your officially out of school tag on there. Fill it up with some fish candies or some fish crackers. Good to go. Boom. You have a nice little gift for somebody that, maybe it's a casual friend or acquaintance that, you want to recognize their efforts and congratulate them on what they've accomplished. But, you don't want to go easy with the budget. This is a really budget-friendly and really quick and easy last-minute idea. It's also, like I said, a really great idea if you're having a party. So this could be a really fun, I'd probably make a little bit smaller jar for that occasion. Or it could be just a fun way of serving some of the snacks that night. So thanks for watching, and I will get this posted up on my blog and the down bar of the YouTube video when I'm finished. Bye-bye.